Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, I'm excited because you know what time it is. This is hot topics time. And we're going to be talking about some things that are so important to each and every last one of you all over the world. So wherever you're watching this at, whether you're watching on E360 television, Transplants TV, over 45 live streaming network, welcome to the show. Because we got a great one today, and I'm excited. What about you, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm always excited about every show, especially the Hot Topics show. Hot Topics, we have this great panelists, and it's not about trying to change each other's mind or the audience's mind. It's about giving a different perspective on the specific topic to make you say, I never thought about that. Or maybe to recognize maybe your own, it could be prejudices or stereotypes regarding the topic at hand. So we're really excited to have these amazing guests back on the show who are our panelists for the September 2023 Hot Topics.
Well, this is a great panel, by the way. And just like I said, I look forward to having these guys on Hot Topics and also on individual shows as well. So Michelle, can you please introduce the panel to our great audience?
Oh, most definitely. First, let me tell you what the purpose of the show is. Of course, September 2023 Hot Topics. The following hot topics will be discussed. Should aging leaders step aside? Will animal transplants to humans? How effective are credit monitoring systems? So let's introduce our first panelist, Dr. Michael Mantell. For nearly 50 years, Dr. Mantell has been helping people of all ages and backgrounds to serve themselves less and creating lasting positive change with his compassion-based, rational, emotive behavioral coaching methods. Dr. Mantell earned his PhD at the University of Pennsylvania to complete his MS degree in clinical psychology at Hahnemann Medical College. He served as chief psychologist for Children's Hospital of San Diego, chief psychologist for the San Diego Police Department, chief behavioral science consultant for the American Council, and many more. He's a member of the Science Advisory Council of the International Council on Active Aging. Wow, he has written so many books and written so many columns, over 80. And one of his books is called The Link is What You Think. So welcome back, Dr. Mantell.
It's a joy to be here with you both. You are my heroes, and my accomplishments are like this compared to what you guys do. It's amazing. It's a privilege and an honor.
Thank you. And next we have Dr. Terry Spain, the CEO of Terry Spain Consulting, LLC, is a highly experienced professional in the fields of diversity, leadership training, motivational speaking, and team building. In addition to an extensive background, he is known for his expertise as a professional sports commentator. With a distinguished 21-year career in the United States Navy, he retired as an instructor for the Senior Leadership Development Branch at the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute in Patrick Air Force Base in Florida. Outside of his professional endeavors, Dr. Spain is an active and respected member of the Central Brevet branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in Florida, where he serves as the Veterans Committee Chairman. Welcome, Dr. Spain, back to the show.
Thank you both for having me back on. I'm excited to be on this panel again. But man, this is going to be some really good topics.
Oh, yes. And finally, we have the Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate on the show. Wow. Since 1984, Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate has been the president, founder, and CEO of both a nonprofit and currently for-profit non-medical home care aid organization called At Your Home Familycare. Is a state of California Department of Social Services licensed home care organization that currently serves seniors, disabled, infirm, and children, and holds contracts with a variety of governmental and nonprofit community partners. They are funded 50% by private duty and private pay services. Wow, what to say about this amazing panelist? Elected official board of Palomar Healthcare District, member of the Association of California Hospital Districts, education committee member of the California Association for Health Services at Home. Welcome back to the show, Laurie. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And my perspective is that this is such a joy. I look forward to these times shared with all of you and feel very honored to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having all of you all back here. And I tell you, wherever you're watching this show, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Michelle, it's yours. Let's do it.
Topic 1, should aging leaders step aside? Senator Mitt Romney recently announced that he will not run for another term, saying it is time for younger leadership. Given Senator Dianne Feinstein's refusal to step down, Nancy Pelosi's decision to run for another term at age 83, and the 20 members of Congress who are 80 or older, this is not the norm. So let's start with you, Dr. Mel.
Well, hold on. I got to say this. Well, with deep regret, Dianne Feinstein just passed this morning. So,
I didn't know that.
Want to keep that in perspective.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know that.
Get rid of that bitch.
Yes. Okay. So let's start with Dr. Mantell. Dr. Mantell, in your opinion, do you believe that some people who prefer that aging leaders step aside is based on their concern for their health, or that they view them as being old and not useful for their role anymore? What are your thoughts?
I don't know what any individual is thinking when they say that older people should step down. I know it's offensive, it's irrational, it makes no sense. There is nothing about someone's age by itself that means someone should step down. Dianne Feinstein, her soul should raise to the highest levels of heaven. 90 years old, I believe she was. Jack LaLanne's widow is, I believe, older than 90, exercises every day. The number is not the issue. If someone's everyday cognition and reasoning and speed and memory and vocabulary and abilities are intact, whether they're 120 or 40, I'm happy. If someone is unable for whatever their reasoning, that to me is the issue. So I think that there probably is an unconscious, an unaware, unintentional insensitivity. It's like when I'm going to be 75 in February. The question is like, when someone says, wow, you look great for your age, is that offensive? Yes. That doesn't mean to be. They mean to be kind. But there's something called ageism, and we have to be careful about that. So the issue is not they're too old or older people should step down. Focus on what someone can do.
Thank you, Dr. Mantell. Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate, what are your thoughts on this? Some people may make a statement they should step down because of their health, because of the concerns for the leader's health, or maybe hidden motives is that maybe they just see them as being too old and not useful in their position anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts about that. I have, since I was a teenager, been against any form of ageism. Ageism is a form of discrimination. As an employer, one cannot discriminate against someone based on age. It's all about ability. And I think that what's so unfortunate is that it's my opinion that politics wants to shift the social mentality and being to suit whatever direction the politics want to go. And I think we need to be better people than that and do better than that and realize there are people who get dementia in their 50s. So who's to say if someone is capable, and Dianne Feinstein unfortunately did pass away age of 90, but I'd like to reiterate 90. Even if she had problems, young people have problems, young people have injuries, young people have setbacks. So it's all about people, who they are, what their capacity is, and what is in their heart to do.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Laurie. Dr. Terry Spain, what are your thoughts on this question? Do you need me to repeat it? I can do that if you need me to.
Yeah, so can you repeat it one more time? I think I know the answer, the question, but I just want to make sure I...
Yes. Those who are calling for leaders or people in high positions to step down. Do you believe some of those recommendations are based on concern for their health, or that they view them as just being old and maybe not useful in that position anymore?
Well, as I was listening to both panelists talk, and they did an outstanding job explaining their reasoning, I definitely agree with them. One of the things that has been going on a lot is that I've been seeing is that when folks realize that certain people are at a certain age, that they just need to hang it up and retire. I think that's been a mantra that's been going on in the United States for quite some time once you reach a certain age. But I think that this is an opportunity for the younger generation and the older generation to actually come together and feed off each other, almost very similar to like a succession plan, where they can bounce off of each other, because we need the older generation just as much as the younger generation needs the older generation. So I believe that this is an opportunity for us to work together, and not to say that. So I'm kind of in the middle, but I actually listen to both generations because I feel like I can learn a lot more. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to take advantage of both the younger generation and the older generation. So if they're able to do the job, it doesn't matter the age. If you could do the job and do it to the best of your ability, I say, why not? Have at it. And then you just train others so that they can have that same respect as they get older as well.
Thank you, Dr. Spain. Dr. James Cooley, what are your thoughts on this question?
You know, I believe that as long as you are cognitive, as long as you're able to do the job, I mean, that age shouldn't matter. Now, I'm not saying that we leave someone in the White House or whatever like that at 100. I mean, but if you are cognitive enough and you have the abilities, like case in point, Joe Biden, he keeps himself in top-notch physical condition. You know, mentally, I think he stays there. I mean, I think it's a lot of this just partisan prejudice, as it relates to politics, how much the man is too old. I mean, I think he's doing a great job, and I think that there should be some type of retirement age. But I mean, again, as long as you're able to do the job, as long as you're able to function properly and keep yourself up, you should be able to lead as long as you can. You know, with that being said, I'm going to take a station break. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up from there. So wherever you're watching this at, want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. Remember, it's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, wow, that first segment kind of lit a little fire, and it's great. So we got much more to come. And so I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform that you are watching this on, all you do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, I want to turn it back over to you.
Yes, I want to, and I'm going to defer to Laurie as well. I know Laurie wanted to say something before the break, but I want to say something based on your statement, Dr. James. You said that there should be sometimes a retirement age, but in my opinion, why? As long as you enjoy what you're doing, as long as you're still good at your job, as long as your cognitive abilities are still intact, and you love what you do, and
I meant more of a term limit.
Oh,
in that type of sense.
Oh, a term.
A term limit, because it's not really the age, but it's a term. And sometimes we get caught up, we in a position or in politics where we want to stay for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And sometimes we lose focus on the current things that are going on, because it's a struggle for power.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know I was rushing a little bit because I knew I had to get the break in.
But isn't that more about the voter deciding? The term limit, we say, voters, you can't decide. There's a rule that says 4 years of being a president and you're out, no matter what the voters want. So if someone says, well, I want power, so I want to be president for as long as I want to be president. But if the voters say, sorry, Charlie, not going to happen. You'd like to be president for another term. There's no term limit, but we don't want you anymore. I'm for the voice of the people deciding how long someone serves in office, not some external, decided term. Now, whether that's the minority opinion or not, I don't care. I just think it should be the voter who decides.
I'd like to chime in on that concept because it's exactly how I see it. And sort of my original thought is now sidestepped to this. I have long believed that if someone wishes to be a professional politician, I think we need to retool the name politician and call it public servant. We need to change the tone. And by doing that, we change our mindset and our thoughts about that. I believe that if someone is not effective, the voter will decide that. One can't hide much from the voter. And the thing that I have really believed for many, many years is where we needed to make the change was in campaign finance reform. So we have more people able to step up, less potential favoritism. And then again, if someone wishes to continue in a political realm, but public service realm, I'm all for that. And I'd like to also say, while I have the opportunity, I agree with Terry's comment about bringing the generations together. I've long held the belief, and it's also surrounded me in my work, the concept of intergenerational. There's a whole lot of difference between intergenerational and age polarity. And having age determined by the charts, as this frequently occurs in medicine and healthcare, is counterproductive to the fact that individuals are just that, and individuals.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laurie. All right, panelists, next question. So I'm going to put this to Dr. Spain. CEOs like Rupert Murdoch believe while they're in good health, they prefer to step down to enjoy the rest of their life, which is great. Everyone's entitled to leave a position when they are ready. Do you believe him saying that may send a mixed message that once you are of a certain age, you may want to retire while you're still in good health? So what are your thoughts on that?
So, Dr. Cooley, I'm actually guilty of that. I did 21 years in the United States Navy. At 20 years, you can retire. And one of the reasons why I retired is because I said I'm in good health and I want to enjoy life, right? And so I understand what he meant by that, but I think it's pretty much a choice of what that person wants to do. For me, I chose to retire so I can enjoy life and be more of a servant outside of the military and do other things that I like to do. As you can see, I volunteer at a lot of different organizations, and I couldn't have done those things while I was still in the military because I was limited to doing certain things. So if you retire and you want to do something else that you can help to benefit the community that you're in, I say go forward and enjoy life. But that's one of the things that I did. I did 21 years. I retired because I wanted to enjoy life and I wanted to be more of an asset more of an asset to the community that I was living in.
Thank you, Dr. Spain. Next question is for Dr. Mantell. So I'm going to just kind of tell like a 20-second summary of the story. So I don't know if anyone's been in this situation where if you're driving on the highway or wherever you're driving and there's an older passenger and they're driving really slow, and then in your mind you're thinking, oh, they're driving that way because they're elderly or something like that. I tell that story because, next question, Dr. Mantell, some European car rental companies restrict drivers over 75 from renting. With a few exceptions, they know that our reflexes, eyesight, and decision-making abilities decline as we age. Do you believe this is a form of ageism? If so, why? So that's why I needed to tell that story, is about, how other people may perceive an older driver, but that's people's perception, if that's accurate. So what are your thoughts?
I think that everyone has prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has discrimination. Everyone has bias. We think we don't. But when you look deep enough, when you say somebody, look at that old person driving, that they're driving that way because they're old, that's clearly ageism. It's an ism, and it's wrong. The idea of saying we don't rent cars to people over 75 because there is a decline amongst many people in that age group. That's almost me. I would take offense if I wanted to go rent a car at the airport and someone said, well, I'm sorry, sir, you're 75. We can't rent to you. Seriously? Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit. Where did you get your degree from? Let me talk about what you can do. Let's talk about ability. Want to have a race? Want to go to the gym? And come on, let's do it. It does not have to do with a number. It has to do with ability. So if the car rental company wants to give me a quick test, okay, I have no problem with that. But don't say you can't do it because you're 75.
Yeah, I agree. I would be so offended. I wouldn't even want them to give me a test because I would be so offended.
I agree too. Right. Yeah, it's their business. They can do that. Meantime, if they do that, I'm going to go rent from the other company.
I know, right? Laurie, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Some believe that aging leaders, it doesn't matter. It could be the CEO of a company, et cetera, their ideas may seem outdated and they hinder progress and innovation. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I believe that there may be that perception when it comes to different values, different generations, being accustomed to different types of technology, how one is educated versus members of other generations. I believe that there are those differences, but I think that what a leader needs to do is be aware of those differences and capitalize upon them, because there's richness in what each one of us has to offer, and it's all about bringing those eagles out there, whether flying in the sky, wonderful employees or volunteers, and having them fly in formation, or a team of basketball players where you have strong players, weaker players, starters and benchers. We can utilize human resources absent of all of that thinking, and we can guide people in the understanding that doing that is a barrier to our own success.
Wow, thank you, Laurie. Dr. James Cooley, question for you. In your opinion, how do we change our own stereotypes regarding ageism?
Yeah, first of all, I think we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. I mean, we all are going to get older. I like to call it more seasoned. And as far as ageism, I believe that me personally, I can do everything because I stay in shape. I get up, I do 6 miles a day. I do mental thought processing. I try to stay current. I try to be aware of everything that's going on. And I believe that learning through education, learning from our youth and young adults, and surrounding yourself with young, mental, fresh minds, and just having an understanding that, hey, we're going to get older, but we have to pass that down to others. So we have to make sure that we are as sharp as ever in everything we do. And we have to make sure that we don't stop learning. Learning is a lifetime process to me. I mean, I just cannot see myself just going over in the corner and say, "Oh, I'm I know enough." Because we have to instill that on the next generation. So in order to do that, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that you are passing the right things down. You have to be the right role model.
Oh, great. Before we go to commercial break, I want everyone to kind of think about this next topic. Audience, panelists, will animal transplants to humans solve the organ crisis? So, Dr. James, are we going into a commercial break?
We're getting ready to take a station break, and I tell you what, wherever you watch, I'm looking at the numbers, Michelle. I see you see the numbers as well.
Oh, yeah, I see them.
It's a lots and lots and lots of folks watching and around the world. So if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Is your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Fight again. And if you want my opinion, I'll let it take me away. Only relief is the four on the floor and the crowd that goes, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, oh, turn it up, turn it up.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Welcome back to It's Your Life. Wow, I tell you, I just like I said, I love hot topics. I love it. I mean, I just look forward to every morning. I tell you, this panel that we got with us today, they've been with our panel for the last couple of months, and wow, we still got 2 more segments in here, but I'm looking forward to next month as well. Already, I mean, because this is so important in topics that we talk about are so, I mean, I tell you, inspiring and everybody have their own different opinion on how things should be done. So, audience out there, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just ask any question that you might have, and we'll get you an answer. So,
Oh.
Michelle, it's back to you.
Thank you, James. So, topic number 2: will animal transplants to humans solve the organ crisis? Xenotransplantation is the transplantation of organs or tissues from an animal source into a human recipient. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, has condemned pig heart transplant as unethical, dangerous, and a tremendous waste of resources. Now, before the show, I was talking with our panelists about, everyone deserves a chance to live a long and healthy life. And there's a lot of people on the transplant list. So we were talking about that before the show. And if it gives a person opportunity to live life a little bit longer, be around their loved ones, etc., I can see, the point in that. But in your opinion, do you believe animals should be genetically modified for xenotransplantation purposes? Let's start with Laurie.
Okay. Well, Michelle, I had the opportunity several years ago, early in my career, and I'm not a medical doctor, of actually being in the operating room during a mitral valve replacement, start to finish, with the then SAR saw the redirection of blood flow to be able to perform a mitral valve replacement. Back then, the valve was a porcine heterograph or a pig valve, and it was a highly successful surgery. So I'm wondering what's taken us so long to catch up. Now, not only am I an avid animal lover, I'm a vegetarian. So I avoid eating anything having to do with animal meat all the time. But I believe when it comes to human life, and you're correct, there is a waiting list. And I believe there's at this time, about 3,500 heart transplants done in the US annually. But that number is going to go up because of the aging population. In addition to that, the success rate for heart transplants in general, people can live 15 and 20 years beyond that point. So the ability to use other options so people get off waiting lists and can start living productive, fulfilling lives, because heart difficulties can occur again at any age. Heart surgeries are performed on newborns. So this is not really an ageism issue. It is an issue of humanity. And I think that in this, in spite of my own bias against, my love for animals, I believe that my value is higher on the side of human life, on the side of reducing human suffering. So I believe that, even though I'm not a medical expert, with some genetic altering of that, along with some additional human genes to prevent rejection of the transplant, it looks as if that is becoming a very successful thing to do. And I believe there's been 2. And I would love to see more of that continue and more lives saved.
Thank you, Laurie. Dr. Mantell, what are your thoughts about the moral component of using donor animals?
Well, I think that I agree with Laurie. I think when we talk about moral issues, it becomes quite a personal issue. I believe that life, above all, is the most important thing, and we do what we have to do to save life. The country right now is awash in article after article about health and fitness and longevity and do this and eat this and exercise this way and have friends. We are focusing on longevity. And I believe, in a sense, that when done properly, when we look at immunological concerns, making sure that the animal transfers are done well and safely, when we look at the disease transmission that can possibly happen, we have to be concerned about that. Questions about animal welfare, consent, moral implications are part of this. I know that there's a whole side movement where people are looking at alternative solutions to animals. They're growing organs in the lab, or organoids, 3D printing of organs. I think that whatever it takes to be able to prolong life makes sense. We are not abusing animals. That's the key. If we treat animals with sensitivity, with care, we understand that human life is above all.
Thank you, Dr. Mantell. Dr. Spain, if you were on the waiting list for a transplant, would you consider the option made to you of using an animal's organ to save your life?
I guess that's the $1 million question, huh? First of all, I just want to say how fascinating it is for us to even be having this conversation about this type of transplant. The modern medicine is ridiculous. It's crazy, and I'm excited about it. But I have to be honest with you. For me, I would say if it was going to keep me on this earth longer, I would definitely give it a shot. I mean, it would definitely be something that I would have never thought would happen, but I would definitely give it a shot. And I'm very familiar with other people who may not have, who, for religious purposes, a lot of people have their own biases as it relates to a pig or different types of animals. But for me, I would definitely give it a shot. Barring all the safety mechanisms and precautions were taking place, I would definitely do that.
Thank you, Dr. Spain. And, you mentioned something. There are people for, individual religious reasons, they may not approve of that, or maybe they wouldn't want to participate in that, despite the fact that it may, extend their lifespan. So this question is actually for Dr. Cooley. James, you here? Hi.
I'm here.
Hey.
I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm in. I don't know what I can do. I'm here.
Well, no. This is another question. So, last year there were just over 4,100 heart transplants in the United States, a record number. But the supply is so tight that only patients with the best chance of long-term survival get offered one. Based on this data, why do you believe it is important for the public to be, I would say, re-educated about the possibility of registering to be an organ donor?
Michelle, you know that we do shows, at least 2 or 3 shows a year on organ donors, for as people understanding that they might want to get on the donor list because there's so many people in the system. Yes. And you never know no one wants to wish anything on anyone or anybody. But if I am gone, and if whatever I can do for humanity with what they can pull from me to help save somebody else's life, to me, that's important to do that because you are giving somebody else an opportunity to prolong their life. So I'm all for that. And I think that we all might want to consider that and not just be selfish, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's all about the humanity, and that's where I'm at. So just like what Laurie said a few minutes ago, it's and as you were talking about animal organ plants. We love animals, but we have to still focus on the humanity side of that. So that's what I believe.
And what's interesting, I just thought about is that, people think that those who need, let's say, a heart transplant, that it could, it's an older person or someone who's suffered a heart attack or et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes a person's heart function can decrease from just a simple viral infection. You can be healthy one day and then you can get a cold or something like that. And for some reason, it just hits your heart and then your heart is damaged. So I just wanted to bring that up. It's not just issues where, a person's older or they had a heart attack or et cetera, et cetera. You can be healthy one day and healthy not the next. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Well, you brought something up, and a friend of ours that's a football player, played with the New York Giants at 25 years old, running back, right? He was running, doing his jog, and all of a sudden, he said that he had a pain in the back and etc. And he had to have kidney transplant immediately, but he had to go on the donors list, so it took a while for him to get there. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, this could happen to any of us. This guy playing in NFL and at 25, 26 years old. And so we need to be very cognizant of that.
Thank you, Dr. Cool. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Laurie.
Yes, I'd like to add to that. I've been an organ donor person for years, and I agree with you completely about helping humanity. When it's no longer useful to me, why not pass it on? It's like sharing your shoes with your brother or sister. But it's so much more impactful, of course. So yes, I really do agree with that type of thinking, and especially in today's world where humanity is going to be faced with things like COVID. Then we have byproducts and Omicrons, and we've got variants, and we've got, all kinds of new fungi and all sorts of things. So it's hard to say what we're going to be faced with at any point in time, no matter our age, and how that might affect us. We might develop sepsis. I mean, we don't know. And having the tools available to really help people prolong their lives in a very healthy, rational, planned way, I feel is a great way for us to spend our taxpayer dollars. And I feel it needs to be on the floor of public dialogue. I really think that's a very responsible way, to treat people, to care for people. So I really appreciated the comment that Dr. Cooley made.
Wow, this is so great. We got to take a station break, but I tell you, wherever you're watching this at, anywhere around the world, if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments. Put in any comment that you might have, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's life, and I tell you, this is just again refreshing and to have different opinions. And I tell you, on hot topics, I want everybody to know out there is no right or wrong answers. There is no wrong or right answers. Everybody got opinions, and everybody's opinion should be heard, long as it's logical and long as it's respectful. So that's why we love doing this show. So I tell you, having so much fun, and as I said in the last break, coming back, we already thinking about October. We're thinking of the same panel again if they are available, but looking forward to it. But I'm still looking forward to more of this show. So Michelle, I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you. Topic number 3, how effective are credit monitoring systems? Despite the importance of valid credit information, fraud and credit reporting mistakes still happen. In fact, these issues are rather common. A study by the Federal Trade Commission revealed that 25% of consumers identified errors in their credit reports, which could potentially impact their credit score. On the bright side, there are multiple ways to monitor your credit reports for fraud and errors. You have the choice of creating a free do-it-yourself approach or paying for a credit monitoring service to help you. If you consider a paid credit monitoring service, you will need to decide if it's worth the cost. Okay, so I'm bringing up our panel here for this interesting discussion. So, when you sign up for credit monitoring, you receive alerts and resources to help you identify and protect against possible theft. But these services actually cannot guarantee fraud prevention. At best, they keep you instantly informed so that you take action as you notice something is off. Based on this information, do you believe crediting monitoring systems are still worth it? What are your thoughts, Dr. Mantell?
Well, let me. I'm sorry. Squeeze back. Excuse me. The idea of anything being foolproof today, when it comes to the internet and these systems, I'm very suspicious of. At the very best, these are reactive. They notify us after the fact. So there are a handful of measures that we can take. I made a list. Regularly monitor your credit, set up alerts where you have allow you to set up alerts for specific activities that you may engage in. Make sure your passwords are good and protected and are strong ones. Enable two-factor authentication. Regularly check your statements. Be sure that what your statements are line up with what you're doing, what you're buying. Freeze your credit if you have to, and be very cautious about your personal information. I got a call the other day from a monitoring system on my son's alarm on the other side of the country. I wasn't sure it was real. I was very cautious about what information I was giving about who I am. I said, tell me about what, and it was real, but you have to be really careful. You have to educate yourself. Make sure your software is updated. Use secure Wi-Fi, just as we use now in being on with you. I think we can take all these steps, but at the end of the day, who knows? They want to get information, they're going to get information.
Thank you, Dr. Mantell. As we all know, cybersecurity is a huge, topic on all industries, right? Doesn't matter what industry you're in. But there's things as consumers who we can do to protect our PII, personal identifiable information. And one of them is, when you buy something on the web, on the computer, sometimes people leave, they don't sign out. They don't sign out of, let's say they're booking an airline flight. I know people have had their freaking flyer miles being taken away from them because these things are still open on their computer. They did not log out. So what do you believe, Dr. Terry Spain, about what we can do as consumers instead of fully relying on credit monitoring systems to protect our PII?
Yeah, so that's in a digital age that we're in now. You see a lot of people get complacent with just leaving their laptop open or just leaving their personal information open. But I think one of the big things that we could do is educate people, and it could be in forums or it could just be one-on-one. I like to do a lot of reading, and sometimes when I do reading, I discover different ways for me to protect not only myself but my family. So one of the things that I do is when I'm at a speaking engagement, or if I'm at a forum where I'm talking to people that I know that can benefit from this information, I let them know, because the more you know, the more you grow, right? And so for me, I would like to make sure I wouldn't want someone to have to go through an issue where their credit has been, compromised. Because I've seen people who've had to battle tooth and nail about things that they had no control over, and someone just stole their credit. So as Dr. Mantell said before, freezing your credit, I didn't know about freezing your credit until a couple of years ago, but I found that could be very efficient when you freeze your credit. But just history, reading, and making people knowledgeable about things to help them out, I think those are the best avenues that you can go with.
Thank you, Dr. Spain. I know we have 2 minutes in the show. So, Laurie, I'm going to ask you this question really quick. Cash, carrying actual cash in our hand. A lot of people don't do that much anymore. They have their credit cards, their debit cards. So do you believe in maybe the small purchases you make, $6, $10, $20, instead of relying on your debit or credit card? Do you think it's safer just to actually just pay cash up front?
Well, it definitely is safer because there's no numerical value in it, and there's no access to it. I mean, I think cash is a wonderful thing, but cash is being used less and less frequently, and we're going to a more technological approach to just about everything. What you're paying with cash? I mean, I've gone through a store where I've given my $10 for something little, and somebody looked at me like, "You've got to be kidding." So, so there's that. And then there's the amount of money a business needs to pay for cyber insurance, the amount of thought given to a company, always having to be concerned for things like hacking, the innumerable time, if you're a person involved, like most of us here, you can't discern whether it's really Microsoft telling you need to access this and do this thing, or it's a fraudulent company, and how adept people are becoming at mimicking credible institutions. So it's a feeling of, what do I trust? What don't I trust? And everything is an individual decision. It's no longer, I see this thing, I know I need to respond quickly. So the other one, and let me know if I'm running out of time, that concerns me, is if you call after hours or on weekends, oftentimes people are not of an English-speaking country, which is fine. But some of the personal information I've been asked by an unknown person saying they represent, and this is who you should call, has been questionable. And I've gotten myself off that call and disengaged. So there's that. So I think it's quite a world we're living in at this time.
Thank you, Laurie. And I'm going to turn this back to Dr. Cooley, but I want to say that these scammers, these fraudsters, they target vulnerable adults. And that's just another conversation we will have. So, Dr. James?
Wow, I tell you what, this was absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank each and every last one of you for taking time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life, especially hot topics. So just been another great segment. I'm looking forward to having you all back next month if you guys' schedule permits. So I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley again for creating another great show and narrating the show. And most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners all across the world for tuning into the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Remember to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Yes, your life, and see you there.